Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham and Sam Carlson. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an edge over your competition. If you want to be part of a movement that is taking digital marketers to new heights, this is for you. Let's go.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode number 120. I'm Phil Graham. Got a special Labor Day weekend episode for you guys today. It's going to be short, but really good. And we're going to be talking about competition and market saturation. A lot of people think of it in the wrong way, and it causes them to fail and lose money. So I want to try and fix that. Now, before we get into that, I just want to say if you guys have any questions, if you need anything, or have ideas for future topics for our podcast shows, anything like that, go ahead and reach out to me at my website, which is philgrahamdigital.com. Again, philgrahamdigital.com, or on social media at philgrahamdigital. Pretty much will get you to me on every channel. Would love to hear from you guys. We love hearing from our listeners. Now, that being said, let's jump into it. If you're in the U.S., happy Labor Day weekend. Or maybe you're listening to this after Labor Day weekend. It's like happy almost fall. Labor Day weekend is kind of like the end of summer unofficially and the start of fall. Great time of year, super excited. Love that football's starting back up again. And it's also a great time for business and advertising. So let's jump into it today, you guys. Market saturation and competition. How are people getting this wrong? Okay. So the big mistake I see so many people make, and I would say most people, is that if let's say you're starting a business or you want to grow your business and you're looking for opportunities, you're trying to figure out, okay, what do I want to do? Where do I want to advertise? Who do I want to target? What kind of niche do I want to work with, etc. What a lot of people do is they look out there and they look for where there's no competition or very little competition. And that's what they shoot for. And here's the problem with that. You guys, it's 2019. It's almost 2020. Technology is in full swing and has been for many, many, many years now. And the fact is, unless there's something literally brand new, like cryptocurrency was, and that was many years ago, it's not new anymore. Unless there's something like literally that was just invented, then any good market is going to be crowded. There's going to be plenty of competition, and there's going to be a lot of saturation. Here's the thing. When I look at that and see that, that's actually a good thing. That checks all my boxes. I know that that's a good market to get into. If I see a market that is not crowded, huge red flags go up for me, unless, like I said, something was literally just invented and I've, found some magic market that just got invented, which really never happens. So don't look for markets without competition. If you do that, you're probably going to fail, because anything good is going to have competition. Here's the thing. This is not just true with ads. It's actually true with anything in life. For example, if you were going to be an attorney or a dentist or whatever, pick any kind of like job you might want to be, guess what? There's a lot of other attorneys. There's a lot of other dentists and chiropractors and doctors and plumbers. No matter what you want to be, there's a lot of other people doing that same thing. So no matter what, whether it's a job, a business, a niche, whatever it is, just understand that it's completely normal that there's competition and even saturation. And the first thing to work on is changing your mindset if you are having mindset problems with that type of thing. So change your mindset, stop looking for markets that are not crowded, and start looking for markets that are. That's really step one. Now, step two is when you do find a niche or market or industry that you want to work in, or maybe you're already in it, then you have to solve the problem, okay, how can I stand out in a crowded market? Because if you choose the market or niche or whatever, industry, whatever you want to call it, but you just pretty much do what everybody else is doing and you don't stand out, then you are probably going to have problems because it is crowded. It's a challenge. So you have to start asking yourself, how can I stand out? And here's the big mistake people make in that regard is they look at what everybody else is doing in the market and they do the same things. Well, the problem is you're just another one of them. You don't stand out. And then saturation and competition will be a problem because you're not differentiating yourself. That's the issue. I mean, let's look at this in terms of courses. Do you know how many people have courses out there like on Facebook ads or any topic, and they have a Facebook group that goes with it because everybody else has a Facebook group that goes with it? Well, I'm going to be coming out with a new course in the future. And guess what? I'm doing it different. I'm not going to have a Facebook group that goes with it for various reasons, because I actually think it hurts the learning process. I'm going to have something completely different. I'm not going to do what everybody else is doing. So whether you're talking about courses, maybe you're a local business, whether it's a product or service that you sell, looking at your marketplace and seeing how people are doing it so that you can then be opposite or at least differentiate in some way will give you a huge edge and huge advantage. And again, most people actually don't do that. They do the opposite of that, and they look at what everybody else is doing and just do the same. And in a crowded market, you're just going to get, you're going to blend in, and it's going to be hard to get business for a lot of you guys. So look at what others are doing and look for ways to do the opposite when it makes sense, and then differentiate yourself. When I look at crowded markets, I mean, let's talk about the Facebook market for a second, for Facebook ads and marketing and consulting and all that kind of stuff. There's a zillion people selling or trying to sell services on how to run ads, whether it's done for you or courses. There's people that have courses on agencies that have never had a client and don't run an agency. There's people that, sell stuff about ads that don't create ads. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? So it's a very, very crowded market. But for me, I see the ads out there. I see what people are doing. And 99% of the stuff I see absolutely sucks. So when I see it, I know, okay, well, this is easy. We're just going to come out with great ads and we're going to differentiate. Our system is better than anybody else's. So you combine that with great ads, it's a win. It's literally like, I think I've given this analogy before, but you look at this basketball court and there's a bunch of people playing basketball, but they're all just throwing up bricks. They're just missing shot after shot. If you get on that same court, you're just going to make the shots. You're going to stand out. And bad advertising is everywhere. Regardless of your niche or industry, 99% of the ads and marketing out there from your competitors are probably going to be pretty bad, which means if you come out there and do it right and you do a great job, you give value, you differentiate, you follow up properly, you do all the things we talk about on this podcast, you're going to stand out in a good way. You're going to be able to differentiate, and you're going to be able to dominate, or at least if not dominate, hopefully you'll be able to dominate, but if not, you'll do very well in what you're doing. Obviously, you have to have a good product or service, and all that kind of stuff kind of goes without saying. So really, that's just my main message for you guys this weekend, is to don't be afraid of competition. Don't be afraid of niches that have already lots of people in there. Even if there's huge companies in there, that doesn't mean you cannot make money and do very well. In fact, that's a very good sign. You just have to get in there with the right mindset, differentiate yourself, do things a little bit different, make sure you've got a system. Like, this kind of goes without saying, but you can't just differentiate for the sake of doing that. Like, you have to be different in some way, whether your product is different, the delivery of it is different, or your marketing is different. You really want to be different in some way. You don't want to just say you're different. So make sure that if it's not different than everybody else out there, what can you add or tweak to make it different? And then you communicate that effectively using the stuff we teach on this podcast, and it's a win-win scenario. So you guys, I told you it was going to be short. That's the episode. Podcast episode 120 in the books. Thank you guys so much for listening. We really love our listeners. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My agency website is philgrahamdigital.com. I would love to hear from you guys. Hope you're doing extremely well, and we will see you next time. Thanks a lot, everybody. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about us, please visit fbadspodcast.com.